Hi, I'm Ben.
And I'm Ted, and welcome to another edition
of Starfish Says.
Okay, so today we're going to interview Ben Luscombe, Triathlon Queensland's Coach of the Year, our very own head coach. We are lucky to have him here and lucky to have such a great leader as a coach. So we're going to talk about our junior program. Ben, perhaps the first question and the most common question that we get asked is, how old should my child be to start sport?
Well, it comes actually from a younger age. We have people in our Learn to Swim program starting through at 1-2 years of age, and that's not specifically for triathlon, but it's actually important in the development in safety and the development in the actual muscle movement memory.
So is there an age that Learn to Swim can start, Ben? What age would you recommend?
Well, as a safety point of view, we start from 6 months of age and going through, but if you really look at technically swimming, it's usually around like 2 to 3 years of age is when they actually can start to learn to swim. Getting through there, it's not until they get to around about the 8 years of age that we actually start looking at putting them into a triathlon type program.
So I guess why is 8 years of age such a definitive? Why is that the age that we choose here at Starfish for our kids to come across from swimmers to triathlon, or from running, or from wherever they've come from to triathlons?
Yep, so 8 years, they start to get that maturity level. They start to understand why they're training, and they can actually sort of adapt in that pre-puberty sort of years. They're actually starting to channel that energy, channel the love, and they actually learn a little bit more and understand why they're doing these training.
Okay, so then the next question leads into, how much training should my child be doing? If I'm bringing you an 8-year-old child, how much should my 8-year-old child be doing?
Well, basically, we wouldn't look at more than 2 to 3 sessions a week to start with, and each session, 45 minutes to an hour of actual work is well and truly enough for a child to come in. We need to focus these things on skill development more than the volume that they're actually doing.
What if my child's a little bit older? If I'm bringing you a 12 or a 10 or a 12-year-old, and where they're just starting out at triathlon, but they've come from another sport, they're great little athletics runners, or they're great basketballers or footballers, how much training should they be coming in to do?
Yeah, so it's a very much then we've got to start looking at what we call our biological age and our training age. The training and development age is their skill level, it's development in those movement patterns. So if they've come from a swimmer, they really don't normally have much running background or anything like that. We need to start that slowly. We need to only introduce it in very small volumes and looking at skill development. Whereas the biological age, being 12 years, even 14 years, right, if they haven't had that background, we've got to start them at scratch and build them through.
Okay, so physical development against biological development.
Okay. Well,
very similar. You started touching on it, but where are we headed with that? Talk me through it.
Yeah, so it's really interesting actually to see the different rates of children grow. And you can have 2 14-year-old boys, and one's already got his moustache, he's muscly, and he's got a lot of power. And then the other boy, he's still looks like he's pretty keen and sort of going there. Obviously, their performance levels are going to be different. They do catch up in the end. As they go through the growth periods, no child performance goes just linear up like this. There's always little spurts and little growth things. So we've got to take that into account.
So I guess as a parent, the moral of our story is no matter where your child is on their development and on their growth, on their age, regardless of their age, they will be able to compete at a level. And sometimes they're going to be behind, sometimes they're going to catch up and be in front because of their physical development. Is that?
Yeah, and unfortunately it comes down to genetics in that sort of sense. So when you look at it, as long as you see your child in a gradual improvement, gradually getting those PBs, on your go, the times, the teams, they take care of themselves. So you just got to look, each PB, celebrate it, right? It's a personal best, it's something to celebrate.
So that's something we love doing at Starfish, is celebrating milestones. Now, we celebrate all sorts of milestones, don't we? So how quickly do we build up? How quickly do we introduce a child to triathlon?
Often kids come in, especially little mini tri sessions, and try it out. In saying that, those little mini tries are 10 minutes worth of work. So we're not looking at high volume, we're looking at fun skill development, working those transitions and that sort of thing. From there, I can then we look at that biological training age. Have they done athletics before? Have they pre-swum before? And then from there, we can start saying, we start off based on the rate of improvement is what they can handle. If you start soon and being tired and drained at school and not focusing, right, then we need to back it off. We need to actually get it down in volume a little bit and make sure that, number one priority is that they're healthy, they're happy, and they're just taking a gradual improvement.
Okay, so in summary, Ben, if you had to summarise up, what is the focus of our program, our junior program here at Starfish? What is our focus?
Our number one focus is skill development. That's the biggest thing across all three disciplines, as well as things like core strength is vitally important within a child's development, and our adults too, for that matter. But it's really important they have that good base, that good solid core strength to be able to perform the skills at a level required.
So when you say skill development, in the swim, what sort of skill development are we talking?
The biggest thing with swimming is body position. Without body position in swimming, there's no point in teaching arms and legs, really.
And on the bike, what are we talking about?
We're actually looking about stability on the bike, and how we gain that is through a very famous circuit that we use. You may have seen videos on our Starfish page prior to this, and we focus on cornering, balance, then having the confidence to ride in a group and alongside each other. Those are big things that we work on.
And lastly, in the run, that's our last leg. What are we teaching them in the run?
Again, we have a lot of running drills, specific running drills that we teach. Those drills focus on correct technique and injury prevention. We need to increase the range of motion to actually get efficient, more stable running style.
Well, thank you very much, Ben. That's a great summary of our junior triathlon program. Coming up on the 28th of October is perhaps the biggest single event for school-aged children in triathlon and aquathon. So if you've got a primary school child that's above age 8, all the way up to high school, on the 28th of October is all schools triathlon. We will put a link in the bio on how to enter that. If you're interested, we have two very special sessions on the 13th and 20th of October. They are specific race preparation to help your child gain the confidence to head to that event without being nervous, knowing exactly what to expect and how to move from the run to the swim to the run, or in the triathlon case, from the swim to the bike to the run. We are offering those sessions exceptionally cost effective and cheap. Keep an eye on our Facebook page, like our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, and you will get those updates and you'll see them, and we'd love to have you on board.
Thank you. And this is
Starfish Says.